Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are all welcome to physics class today, and we want to discuss physical quantities. At the end of this discussion, we are going to be able to define physical quantities, classify physical quantities into fundamental and derived quantities, and state some examples of fundamental and derived quantities. 1. What is physical quantity, or what are physical quantities? Physical quantities are quantities whose property can be measured using measuring devices. And some examples are length that can be measured with meter rule, mass that can be measured with balance, time that can be measured with stopwatch. When physical quantities are expressed, they are expressed with two parts, the numerical part and the unit part. Just like when you say 2 meter, 2 stands for numerical value and meter stands for physical unit. When you have 5 Newton, that is the quantity of force. 5 stands for numerical value and Newton stands for the physical unit. Now we have two types of physical quantities. The first one is fundamental quantities or base quantities, and these are quantities whose these are physical quantities that do not depend on any other physical quantities for their measurement. These quantities are independent of other quantities, or other quantities depend on them. Some examples are mass, length, time, and temperature. This table is to show to us all the possible physical quantities that are fundamental quantities that we have, or base quantities, and their units. We have length, mass, time, electric current, temperature, amount of substance, and luminous intensity. These are the basic quantities that we have. These are their symbols, these are their units, and these are the unit symbol. We should be able to know this. And going to the second type of physical quantity, which is derived quantity. These derived quantities are physical quantities which depend on one or more of fundamental quantities for their measurement. They are the ones that depend on fundamental to be produced. And some examples are area, volume, speed, force. How can you produce derived quantity from fundamental? Derived are produced by combining two or more of fundamentals together through multiplication or division. So you can see area is produced by saying length times width. Volume is length times width times height. Speed is distance over time. Density is mass over volume. So derived quantities are produced by simple combination of two or more fundamentals using multiplication sign or division sign. This table is showing to us more examples of derived quantities. We have area, and this is the formula for area. The unit is meter square. You have volume, you have density, you have velocity, acceleration, work, you have energy, you have power, you have momentum. All these are physical quantities, and we have symbols here and how they are derived. These are their formulae and these are their units. So in this video we've been able to define physical quantities as quantity whose property can be measured using measuring instruments, and we've been able to classify physical quantities into fundamental and derived. And fundamental quantities are quantities that do not depend on other quantities for their measurements, and we have some examples. While derived quantities are quantities whose measurements depend on fundamental quantities, or on two or more fundamental quantities, and this can be done by using multiplication sign or division sign to produce derived quantities. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.